Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Monday to you all. It was actually a pretty good Monday. Bitcoin's up, miners were up. We got some updates released from the miners. We got CleanSpark, CORZ Scientific, Riot as well. So quite the big guys there reporting, which was nice to see. We also had BitDigital come out with a new story today as well. We'll talk about that one really quick here. And then we're going to go over something that one of you guys here in the comments, Para Stevenson, had mentioned that IWM, and the miners follow that. So we're going to take a look at that. And there is some pretty close correlation between that. So we're going to take a look at that as well. So thank you, Para, for passing that along. But that is it. And we'll get into Q&A. So should be a pretty easy day. All right. As always, you guys know the drill. Not financial advice. For only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Let's get on with the show. Oh, and I got to clean some stuff up here. Bear with me while I clean some stuff. Because we're looking at the IWM shares here. Let me see what I want to do. I want to hide this. Okay, let's go back up here to Bitcoin. Bitcoin today, above 100,000, which was nice. It got up to a high today of approximately, 102,000, and that wasn't the high. The high was 102,500 even. Wow. The close at 102,279 and 41 cents. We are down a little bit now, but we are above the 100,000 mark, which is good. That has been our kind of resistance support, hopefully it acts as support going forward, and we don't go back and test the 50-day simple moving average again for a while. If we don't do that, I think we're going to continue to go up here, which would be nice. If we do come back down, like I said before, we might fall even further, right? If we have that 30% correction from the top, 108,000 down would be about 75,000. That would be what we saw here historically with Bitcoin. Maybe things change for us for the better, where we don't have those kind of big drops, but we'll see. Okay, so Bitcoin was up just a little bit here, was up approximately, 4% on the day, it looks like, when it closed. Right, yeah. And the miners were up at least a little bit above that, some a little bit less than that. Some were actually down today. Bitfarms was up 2.3% on the day here. BitDeer was down, not really sure why, 10.8%. That was, I think it's probably because you got to a new high and then fell back down. That's probably why. Cypher, 5% up on the day. Also, CleanSpark up 5.8. CORZ was down 1.69. Hive was up 1.21. Hut E was up 10.39. IREN was up 3.79. Mara up 4.63. Riot up 4.4. Wolf up 4.5. So all in all, the miners were pretty much tracking Bitcoin here to the T more or less, except for one exception here, Hut 8, outperforming it. And then it could be because we had a nice rally on Friday with the miners, where the miners were up 10, 12, 15% on the day, when Bitcoin was basically flat around 1% or something like that. So that could be the reason why. The miners were maybe a little bit front-running Bitcoin here for Monday. At least that's the way it seems right now on it. So we'll see where that takes us. Some of the smaller miners were also kind of mixed a little bit here, performed almost as well or less than Bitcoin did. Argo and BitDigital were up about the same as Bitcoin here, a little bit more for BitDigital. And then the ETFs were up nicely as well today. WGMI actually underperforming here what Bitcoin did. So we'll see what happens there on that one. But going into Para's take on the IWM. So if you look at IWM is the iShares Russell 200 ETF. Right, so I looked at the list of companies that are in there, and they got a lot of companies. It's right, the smaller cap companies in there, and I was able to find like CleanSpark is in there. It's under CLSKW. So those are, I'm not sure if those W are those the warrants. I think those are the warrants. So they have some warrants there. Looks like they got Mara in there as well. They got Riot. If I spell it right, Riot's in there as well. Who else is in there? Hut 8 is in there as well. Hut. Hive, I think. Nope, Hive was not in there. Let's see, BitDigital. Let's see if they're in there. Yep, they're in there also. They have quite a big list of miners that are in there. Cypher's in there. Let's see if Wolf is in there. Yep, Wolf is in there. So some of the bigger guys here in the field, they're definitely in that list here. And if you look at this chart here on the IWM, and if we overlay the WGMI, which is the ETF for the miners here, let's see here. There we go. You can see that there is a very strong correlation between the two here, right? So what Para is saying is that when IWM moves, those smaller cap stocks, that's when usually the miners move as well. So if we follow the trend here, just going back to basically March of this year, or last year actually, you can see as IWM was running up, you can see the same thing with WGMI here. As IWM was running down, same thing. You can follow along. There are some deviances in there, but they're like here, we were definitely running up here on the miners before IWM was running also. So but it's pretty close. I mean, there are some instances where it does deviate, but for the most part, it does kind of follow that trend. And then sometimes the miners will obviously outperform because they go up, 15% in a day, 20% in a day, whatever it might be. So they do outperform a little bit at that point. And Paro was also saying that if we look at the 2021 cycle, so let's go back here. I'm going to turn that one off, and we're going to put Mara in here. Mara was around the last cycle as well. And you can see it does kind of follow it on this time frame even. But going back to 2021, so let's go back here to basically the peak of 2021 in the bull run that we had back then. So this is August. Let's see here. This was probably the peak here, November, yeah. And you can see here as IWM was going up, Mara was going up as well, but kind of came down, then it came back up. Yeah, I mean, follows it pretty closely here. You can kind of follow it along, see where the trends are going and the lines, and they seem to be in play. So there might be something to it. So if we see IWM running, it might be a good sign for the miners as well going forward. So thank you, Par, for pointing that out. That's definitely very interesting here on it. And let me know if I missed anything from your take on this. But yeah, this is pretty cool. We can definitely see that it does track. I mean, you can see here also that's interesting that, see, that's why I'm kind of questioning whether it's the miners are having an impact on the IWM, because when they do run up so much, their values go up so crazily. And you can see here that Bitcoin basically peaked in November sometime, and Mara peaked at that point as well. And then when Bitcoin's coming down, Mara and the miners were coming down as well at that point, and you're seeing a decline in the IWM. So is it a combination of maybe a little bit of both sometimes, where they both have an impact on each other, which I think would be the case, right? Because why would IWM go down if only Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners were going down? Shouldn't the other miners, or shouldn't the other companies in that field be also, if it was a good year, going up? Maybe have to overlay the NASDAQ on that, see where NASDAQ was going, and the what was the other one there? We have the NASDAQ, we have the S&P 500, Dow Jones, see how those guys also correlate to that at that point. And this is back in 2023. So let's see here. Let's try that. Let's see what happens here if we do that. That's going to be an interesting little tidbit. Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of that one. We don't need that one anymore. WGMI, we'll leave that one. Actually, we'll get rid of that one as well. We'll add in there, what was that? IWM. So bear with me here. IWM. We'll put that in as a new price scale on it. So, okay, let's go back to 2021 here. 2021, see, this was November, so this was right around that time frame here. And we saw the Dow Jones actually go down. So it does kind of follow that even as well to a certain point. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, maybe it is. Who knows? There's so many variables in there. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 here. 2023, go back to 2021 again. Sorry. Okay, there we go. March 2022, February, December, November is kind of when we peaked here. See? S&P continued to go up, it looks like, and then finally came back down a little bit more. But it does align a little bit. All right. So it could be that the miners follow IWM to a certain point. Interesting nonetheless. Okay. So that's it for that one. Really quick, just wanted to point that out. Network hash rate here on Bitcoin here. Where is it at right now? On the 7-day average, it is at 812 exahash. On the 30-day average, is it still climbing? It is still climbing. So we are at 790 exahash here. Just a couple of days, 6 days into the new year. Really close to where I thought it was going to be, like I said before, around 800 by the end of the year. And that is it for that. Let's take a look at Bitcoin really quick here. Bitcoin on the month of January so far, up 8.97% so far. Having a really good month here, which is good. And then let's get into the news stories that we have here so far. Quick one here on BitDigital here. Today they announced that it has officially transitioned to domestic issuer status under U.S. securities and regulations. The change reflects the company's commitment to transparency, operational growth, U.S. market expectations, and streamlines its regulatory compliance framework, which is fantastic news. And we're seeing that with probably a couple other companies happening here as well. We probably might see that happening with IREN happening. Who else is going to be doing that? Possibly Bitfarms as well. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Hive is doing it as well. So a lot of companies are moving their headquarters over to the United States to take advantage of all that the U.S. has to offer them, especially in the markets. So that's good there. All right, now onto the main stories that we have here. CleanSpark released their production update for December. It was a good update here. Where do we have here? I'm going to get into some of the details here. Let's see here. December Bitcoin mining update, December 668. Nice little increase over November. Total Bitcoin holdings as of the end of December here, 9,952, really close to 10,000 here. I'm sure they're probably at that right now after 6 days of mining. Month-end operating hash rate was 39.1, so they definitely beat their own targets, right? Their original target was like 37 exahash by the end of the year. They got to 37.5 midway through the month of December, and they ended the month with like 39.1. So really good job there by everybody at CleanSpark getting all of this stuff done. I mean, it was a monumental undertaking. They had a lot of sites that they had to buy and build out and retrofit and things like that. So get things installed. Congrats to those guys. Absolutely fantastic job there. Total Bitcoin sold in December was only 12.65. And then calendar year 2024 Bitcoin produced was 7,024. Really good numbers there. So throughout the December 2024, the company's average hash rate was 35.52 exahash and average fleet efficiency was 18.06, resulting in an average of 21.56 Bitcoin per day. They sold that, and that's basically it. Additional updates here. Clinton, Mississippi. There are 2 Bitcoin mining facilities near Clinton are now fully operational, housing S21 Pro miners with a combined operating hash rate of approximately 1 exahash. So that's great there. Jackson, Tennessee. The first phase of company's 60 megawatt Bitcoin mining site in Jackson has been successfully completed, featuring an initial 12 megawatts of latest generation S21 XP immersion miners. The second phase, currently underway, will bring an additional 48 megawatts of air-cooled S21 Pro miners online. Once fully operational, the site is projected to add an additional 3.7 exahash to CleanSpark's overall hash rate. So that'll get them over 40 exahash there. And then Cheyenne, Wyoming, by year end, S21 XP immersion miners delivering 1 exahash were energized as part of CleanSpark's rapidly advancing construction of 75 megawatt of immersion-cooled Bitcoin mining data centers. This milestone highlights the company's efficient development of capabilities, with the initial phase completed less than 6 months after closing. Yeah, nice job there. The full 75 megawatt is on track for completion in Q1 and is expected to contribute a total of 5 exahash of CleanSpark's most efficient hash rate. So you're looking at about 8.7 exahash added here in the first quarter alone. So that's going to get them to, what is it going to get them to? Approximately, my math is correct here, I'm doing this in 47.8 exahash, I think, something like that. So really close to 50 exahash there within the first quarter. So great. I mean, what can you say about CleanSpark? Other than they just get it done. Let's take a look at the numbers that we do have here for them really quick. So CleanSpark has about 292 million shares outstanding right now. Stock price $11.43 as of today. Market cap $3.3 billion. Their performance over the last 12 weeks has not been great. Last week was good, about 10% increase on that one. Current hash rate 39.1. Future hash rate I have 56.6. We'll see where they end up at. Probably closer to, well, they're saying their target is 50 exahash. I think some of the older generation machines are going to get taken out, so I might have to do that. So that still includes those. They are 69% operational right now. They got about 44% growth left in them, which is still a lot. What else? Bitcoin HODL 9,952 is valued now at $1 billion. Their HODL to market cap percentage is 30.36 on it, and each share has about $3.47 in that. So BTC production here has been increasing. This is their best month here after the halving event that we saw in May at 668. Monthly revenue also surpassed their previous all-time high, which was in March of 54 million. They got to 65.62 million. Bitcoin HODL, they just continue to increase that. So that's been fantastic there. Hash rate, same thing. They pretty much close to 4x their hash rate, right, from 10 exahash to almost 40 exahash here by the end of the year. Outstanding work there. Bitcoin sold, they sold a little bit here. BTC per exahash efficiency is still really good, 17.1. Bitcoin sold value there, not much. We'll get into some of those numbers up top in a second here. Institutions and analyst ratings here, those did increase a little bit here to 386. Shares also looks like stay the same, but percentage went down to 41.63. I'm guessing that's based on the dilution that we saw prior quarter. And then we still have 4 strong buy ratings, 2 buy ratings, 1 hold rating, 0 underperform, 0 sell ratings. Price target stayed the same for $30 for the high. Average went up a little bit here to $23.83, and the low went up to $17 on that one. Okay, going down here as far as what did they actually mine here for December based on my numbers and the 2.73% in transaction fees. roughly. I had them mining at about 29 days, it looks like, with 20 days on the new miners being added, which added about 5.4 exahash to them at that point. So that got us to the 65.619 million. Based on the average price of Bitcoin for the month and the network hash rate as well, where that ended up. So based on that, if we look at November or December numbers, multiply it times 12, what is their run rate for the annual run rate? It's 787 million. Based on that, I think they should be valued somewhere between 26.92 and 40.37, right? And that's kind of in line with what the analysts have them kind of in the middle range of where I have them at $30 for the high. But that's kind of, yeah, I think they're way undervalued at 11.43 right now. I mean, it's kind of ludicrous right now the way they're being valued. But they're not the only ones. There's a bunch of companies that are more of the pure play miners that are just way undervalued right now. And they're definitely one of them for sure. What can I say about CleanSpark? Not much. I mean, they've been doing a fantastic job. So keep it up. That's all I can say, really. Keep the costs down. And that's about it. I know. So really good job by CleanSpark here. All right. Yep, that's it for CleanSpark. Let's get into the next one here, which is going to be on CORZ. CORZ obviously provides their December update. So they mined 291, which was a decrease from the November 314. Hosting Bitcoin from their customers was 18, down from 29. Self-mining energized hash rate was 19.1, so that's down from the 19.3. And then let's see here, what else do I have here? Bitcoin sold was only 79, so I'm thinking they're starting to hodl more. However, they don't provide anything as far as hodl numbers. So I don't know how much they actually have. We may have to wait until the quarterly results to get those. I don't know. It'd be nice if they actually provided that, how much hodl they have right now. But it seems like over the last, I would say maybe 4 to 6 months or so, like they've been increasing their hodl position more and more, or it seems like they've been selling less than what they've been mining. So it's like, what are they doing with the remaining Bitcoin? They're putting it on the hodl, which I think they are, but I just don't have any data on it. I could probably run through the numbers going backwards with all the press releases and see if we can maybe figure out something there. But that's kind of what I have right now. All right, so I think that's basically it for them. There's nothing else really that's interesting in there. So let's take a look at CORZ Scientific really quick as well. CORZ has 279 million shares outstanding, roughly, based on my estimates. We'll find out an updated number once they report their quarterly results. Market cap about 4.2 billion right now. Their performance here hasn't been bad. I mean, they're up 20% from 12 weeks ago. They were down on 8 weeks and the 4 weeks, but they were up also last week. So not too bad, but they're still doing really well in the last year, right, compared to where they were. They're doing very well. Current hash rate 19.1. Future hash rate, based on the number of machines that they have still or had, I don't know if they got rid of those, would get them to about 20.5 exahash. They, like I said, hodl, I'm guessing that they hodl something, but I just don't know the figure on it. So it's kind of hard to figure out that one right now. Bitcoin production here has been coming down. And why has it been coming down? Well, they're not installing anything new for hash rate. They're moving miners around as it is, and they're actually reducing their hash rate. So that's a result of it. The good thing is that revenues are actually going up, even though their number of Bitcoin being mined is going down because Bitcoin price is going up. So that kind of helps out there. Okay, so you can see here that their best month was in March here, 61.34 million. December is still half of that pretty much, 28.59. So they're not keeping up with that. They're definitely more concentrating on building out for the HPCI data centers there. Then on the Bitcoin mining side, there was a story a while back about them getting about 15 exahash from Block ASICs. I haven't heard anything on that recently, so I don't know if that's still going to be happening or not. Definitely like to get an update on that. Hash rate, like I said, has been coming down as well. Bitcoin sold, you can see here that they've been selling less and less as time goes on. On that one, BTC per exahash efficiency has come down here to 15.23. They're on the average side, I would say, not on the top tier, but on the average side. As far as production is concerned, BTC sold value, how much they sold there. Going down here to institutions analysts, we can see here that that has increased, continued to increase. 335 now institutions. Shares actually went down to 199 million, but percentage also went down a little bit here to 71.23 is now owned by institutions. We still have 10 strong buy ratings, 3 buy ratings, and 0 holds and performance, 0 sells. Price target stayed the same at 26. The average went up to 20.31, and the low stayed the same at $17 there. For the month of December, I had them mining for approximately 24.3 days here, based on the averages there. So possibly some curtailing, some moving of machines around, things like that. That's probably what contributed to it as far as I can tell. Okay, now based on where they are right now with the December numbers for revenue times 12 months plus the future revenue that they're possibly going to be getting from their HPCI deal, which is an additional, let's see, 500 million roughly per year. Plus, I'm looking at the currently quarterly revenue that they get for HPCI, dividing by 3 months, and then multiplying that times 12, getting all those figures into it. That would be possibly their run rate here, 843 million. I would think they would be somewhere between 2264 and 3396 going forward. They're at 1512. I think that they are still undervalued from where they probably really should be. And I also heard a story. I don't know if there's truth to that, but I think that a couple people sell. We could possibly look it up here really quick as well. If insiders have sold here a little bit, I think. Let's take a look at that really quick. Let me see here. I saw that someplace. .gov. Let's see. Menu. Let's go here. CORZ. Let's see. Prospectus rule. Where is it at? Ownership disclosures. Insiders. Okay, January 3rd. Yeah, we do have a couple here, and that popped up. Let's see. Who do we have here? Todd, looks like. Let's see what he sold. 1231. Okay, sold someone 1213 as well. Amount. I'm guessing that's going to be dollar amounts. Amount securities benefit. Okay. $14. And then what was this? This was performance based. Okay, performance based. So was it for tax reasons that he sold? Possibly. Might be it. I'm not getting too deep into it here. And then who's this? Adam, CEO there also. What did he amount? 159,000, 88,000 securities. Where's that? He still got plenty of shares there, so he didn't sell too much there. Represents the acquisition of additional performance-based restricted stock units in connection with 300% vesting of the first installment of the reporting person's performance-based restricted stocks June 4th. Okay, yeah. Represents shares sold to satisfy tax obligations upon the vesting. Okay, so he got shares and he sold a portion of it to pay for the tax burden that's going to be there. Okay, so that's the reason why. It's not like they're selling for anything else. And that's always fine when they do that with any company that does that, actually, because who wants to pay it out of their own pocket if they don't have to? Okay, so nothing major there, no concerns. What else do we have here? That's it for core. I mean, they're going to have so much revenue coming in here from the HPCI business happening later on this year. So that's going to be helping them out tremendously. I'd like to see them grow some more on their Bitcoin mining side of things, like an update on the block miners there. What's going on with those? Are they getting them? Are they not getting them? And I'm sure we'll get some updates once they report for the fiscal year-end figures, which will probably be in sometime, I'm guessing mid to late February at the earliest. I think we would see those numbers since they're audited as always. All right. That's it from that one. And let's get into our last one here, which is going to be on Riot. So Riot also announced their production updates for December here, and their productions are improving, which is always a good sign here. So Bitcoin produced was 516, an improvement over 495. Deployed hash rate at Rockdale is 15 exahash, same as it was in November. Deployed hash rate in Corsicana was 14.1, so a slight increase there of 200 petahash roughly. And then deployed hash rate in Kentucky also increased by about 600 petahash to 2.4 exahash on that one. So fully deployed, 31.5 exahash. A nice increase from the prior month. And then as far as operational one, it definitely improved as well, 27.4 exahash compared to 25. So that was a nice improvement there. And then power, this is, I'm guessing this is just a rounding error here on this part, but power credits was 0.8 million and demand response credits was 0.3. And then total power credits, they put it as 1 instead of 1.1. So I think that one was probably like 8 point something, or 0.8 something where combined was like close to $1 million. That's the only thing I can think of that was that. Fleet efficiency did improve as well to 21.9 joules, down from 22.3, so that's good there. And I think that is it. Let's see here. Is there anything else? Nope. We got the nice picture of Corsicana there. Huge facility there. And then their growth path going forward. That is about it for it. So, like I said, Riot has been definitely improving here over the last couple of months, which is nice to see. But we still want to see them closer to like the 95% uptime that they've been talking about here for the past 6 or 8 months or something like that. Riot has 332 million shares outstanding, stock price $12.89, but gives them 4.2 billion market cap here. Right, compare that to CleanSpark here, which has 3.3. They actually mine more. They actually had more revenue, but they're right for some reason being valued more. Okay, they have a little bit more HODL there, and maybe that's why that definitely contributes to it. But their performance in the last 12 weeks has been okay. They're up 25% from 12 weeks ago. 8 weeks were down a little bit. 4 weeks were down, but last week was up nicely, 12. Current hash rate, 31.5. Future, what I have right now is 43. They do have options to buy more, obviously, as they build out. And HODL position right now is at 17,722, valued at 1.8 billion. So they do have about 800 million more in HODL than CleanSpark does have. So that could be the offsetting part here of the valuation, which is actually pretty good. And the HODL is 42%, right? So that's where that difference is coming in. Bitcoin production here has been improving and increasing. It's up to 516, which is nice. Revenue, nice improvement in revenue here. 50.69 million. That's almost double from where they were in March of this year. Their operations were pretty abysmal at that point, but they have been improving, so that's a good sign. They've been also increasing their hash rate here. You can see that from March they were at 12.4, and then they improved at almost 3x here, getting to 31.5 exahash here. So that is a nice improvement as well in that. Bitcoin HODL, you can see that has been growing steadily, and then this huge jump here where they actually bought Bitcoin here this past month. So that's why you're seeing that happening. BTC per exahash efficiency also pretty good here, 16.38. Looking better than Core, even Core's at 15 something, so they're doing better there. They're definitely improving, which is nice to see there. And how much they sold, they didn't sell anything. They actually bought $567 million worth of Bitcoin roughly based on those numbers. Going down here, we'll take a look at those in a second. Institutions did increase a little bit as well, 442. Shares also increased to 143 million. Percentage owned went down a little bit here, 42.39. I'm guessing that's because of dilution. Ratings for them is 9 strong buy ratings, 6 buy ratings, so that's an improvement there. One hold rating. 0 underperforms, 0 sells. Price targets went up to 25 for the high. Average went up to 17.90, and the low went up to $11 for them. So that's looking better for them as well. And then their operations here, check this out. 26.86 days based on what I could figure out. The miners that did get installed roughly, we're running it for about 20 days as always on these guys. So they were at 26.86 days on average on it, which is a nice improvement, and we're seeing that happening here. They were at 25 days in November, 22 days in October, and September was only 19 days on average, 18 days in August, so they are definitely improving in that regard here. So that is very, very, very nice to see here. That obviously yields better returns, better revenues, and everything else. So uptime, I think, is like almost king in this space. You need those uptimes in order to be able to pay off those miners in as short of a period of time possible, right? Plus, they only got $1 million for energy credits and things like that. So was it really worth it for them to curtail for the other couple days? I don't know. But I know that it also helps them out in the long run, keeping their energy prices low. So they got to weigh that curtailment. Okay. So based on the numbers for December times 12 months, I'm at 608 million here in run rate revenue, PE of 20, 1830 to 2745. It's kind of where I see them. They're at 1289 right now. They are still way undervalued from where they should be, especially since they are operating much better. Uptime is much better as well. They're doing all the right things here. So yeah, that is it. What can I say for Riot? For Riot, big thing is continue to improve on uptime for them, continue to grow. They didn't reach... I'm trying to remember if they reached their targets. I think they lowered their targets by the end of the year here a little bit, but they still got pretty close to it. So just continue to execute on that. Do everything that you can to get the hash rate going, get the uptime as close to 95 to 100% as possible. And yeah, we'll see what happens after that. They also have an investor in them right now that is pushing them to go into the HPCI business. So we'll see if there's anything out of that. But 2025 should be a fun year. As long as Bitcoin continues to go up, we should do very well with a lot of these guys here. I see absolutely no reason why, unless the market tanks and Bitcoin tanks and everything else, then these guys are going to be hurting as well. All right, that's it. Let's get into Q&A. As always, spreadsheet's going to be available to my Patreon members. I got to get this out to you guys as well tonight. As you guys know, I've been sick the last couple of days, so I've been kind of dragging my feet. Plus, on the comment side of things for YouTube, I got to get caught up on that as well. It's just, I didn't have the energy, didn't feel like doing it, so I'll be catching up in the next couple of days on that as well. All right, but that's it. Let's get into Q&A. So let's go there. We'll see what's happening here. Bitcoin's still at 102,000, which is looking pretty good. See what you guys have as far as questions, and then preface your questions with a Q. I'm going to scroll my way up a little bit here, try to work my way down on the questions, and we'll get through all those as well. In the meantime, I'm going to take a sip of my tea here. All right, let's see what we got here as far as questions. Bear with me while I scroll up a little bit. Try to find some questions. And if I missed your question, please restate it down below. I'm going to go about halfway down the comments and work my way down. Let's see. Okay. Do miners peak a month before BTC does? They peak a couple weeks before Bitcoin does. Yes, historically at least. Okay. Let's see. Trying to find another question. Bear with me. Let's see. Okay. Question from Cody. Isn't CleanSpark's outstanding shares count lower now due to the share repurchase? Would that affect your price targets in any significant way? Thanks. Their price targets, they about 11 million some odd shares, right? I think I put that in there. Let me take a look to make sure. But I thought I put that in there as a deduction. Maybe I didn't. Quarterly financial results here. Let's go take a look here. What did I use? Yeah, it'd be 11 million shares less, I think, roughly. And that is using the numbers there. Yeah. So that might have a little bit of impact. How much of an impact will the 11 million shares have? Let's do the math here really quick. Okay, so in CleanSpark here right now as it is, let's see, minus 11 million shares. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That lowers their market cap, but does it really do an impact on the stock price here? Nah, it does a little bit. Now 27.97 to 41.95. Prior to that, what was that? If I just leave that alone, 21, yeah, it increases a little bit by maybe $1 here, roughly. So we'll just leave it at minus 11. But then I got to remember to do that. I'll leave it as it is right now, so it's not that big of a difference, right? Because when they do report in February, we'll get an updated number of shares outstanding there. We'll use that number there going forward, but that's not that big of a change. You know, $1's $1, but still not that significant. If it was like $10, okay, then that would be huge. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Mortim says part of that is similar to Fonstrat's prediction for small cap index. So he, what's his name there? Tom Lee, right? He was talking about that. That's interesting. Okay. Doesn't the price of BTC have to maintain a higher level, like 200,000 for the miners to really move? Seems like they could still dilute any way, so maybe limited upside. I think a lot of the dilution has been already done for. You already have Marathon, you got Riot, you got Wolf, CleanSpark, getting the convertible notes right currently, so that means they don't really have to dilute. At least for the, I would say for the next 6 months to 12 months, they don't have to dilute anything. But there does mean that dilution gets pushed off into like 2030, right? If they get called on that or whatever. But they're also limiting the dilution by hedging their bets on that as well. So some of the other guys might dilute. There might be some dilution, but I think the dilution is going to be less than what we have seen here in 2024. At least I would expect it to be less because they've been building up to this point to get to as high of a hash rate as possible before Bitcoin really starts running. And Bitcoin's already kind of started running up a little bit here. But there's going to be some impact on dilution, but it's not going to be that bad, I don't think. Yeah, Fonstrat is Tom Lee. Yep, I remember correctly on that one. What else we have here? Okay. Heinz Catchby says, I am here to announce that I no longer a bag holder of Fubo TV. I got out the moment it hit 200%. Yeah, wasn't it a Disney deal with them that I heard today? That was pretty interesting. Let's see. Brian says, Zach, CEO of CleanSpark, in an interview just the other day, no more dilution on the horizon right now. Growth plan now fully funded. Yeah. For them, I'm sure that's the case. I think that's the same case, I think, for Riot. I think. I'm not sure. All right. Let's see. Earlier during the McNally Money interview with Adam, CORZ dropped. Did he say something negative? I'm not sure. I didn't see that interview yet. Or was it just people seeing that they were selling shares, but the sales were being sold because of tax reasons? So I think that's a nothing burger there. All right. Okay. What else we got here? Let's see. Question. Hut, West Felicia. I can't pronounce that doggone city. Felicina Parish Office approved a zoning change Monday evening that will allow for the construction of the 2.5 billion data center for Hut. 8 thoughts. Okay, that's great. Can they do that? They said I think it was in the news event or the news release. That wasn't a news release by Hut, but it was just a gosh, the journal or the, what do you call that? Oh my gosh. The reporter wrote in the article stating that they plan on getting that done in 2025. I think that's kind of overly ambitious, especially if it just got now zone approval. Then you need to do all the other work for it as well. Plus, you need long lead time items. I don't know if 2020 by the end of 2025 is doable to build that out. I would say maybe mid 2026. By the end of 2026, yeah, but 2025 might be a little over ambitious there. Well, let's see. Question. I don't like Riot, but it's pretty clear that for the last 6 to 8 weeks they are outperforming CleanSpark and IREN. Are you still leery of them? I'm less leery of them. Let's just put it that way. With them improving their uptime and everything else, that's fantastic. But that's kind of what we expect to see them do in, especially like the winter months happening here. The question will be how do they operate in the summer months and how much they curtail at that point as well. But they are doing much better. So I'm happy to see that. And Jason has stated that they want to be closer to 95% uptime. I'm keeping his word to it. So let's see if they can do that. Okay. What else here? All right. Looks like BitDeer is the most shorted stock now at 30% of float. Mara number 2 with 25 short, and CleanSpark is 24%. Okay. I know that BitDeer wasn't that shorted that badly. Let me see. Where's my short sheet that I had as of the 15th of December? I haven't updated it yet, so maybe we'll do that this week. But BitDeer was prior to that. Here's what I had basically. I think it was for the 15th. I think. No, I haven't updated it for the 15th yet. Let me see here. Let's go over here. So at that point, percentage of average float was, BitDeer was about 17% here. CleanSpark was the most at that point, 22. Marathon at 21. TeraWolf at 19. So I'm guessing that that's the data based on, is that at the end of the month of December that you're seeing the data for, or is that the middle? Because I haven't updated this since the beginning of December. So I need to update this nonetheless, I think. Let me see. When did I update this? I updated it. Yeah, 11/29 was the last update that I did on it. So I still have, well, take a look at it later on this week, see what that pops up as. But that's definitely interesting that BitDeer is now getting more shorted. But it also kind of makes sense. It's had a huge run up here, so maybe that's why it's being shorted. All right, go back here. Let's see. Hello, Seb. How you doing? How does Bitcoin loaning work? How Mara makes money doing this? Thanks. So they get, they get interest on it basically, right? If you loan it out to somebody, just like a bank loaning out you money, you're going to pay interest on it. So it's the same kind of principle. Now, what is that interest like? Is it 3%? Is it, staying even with the U.S. interest rate, whatever that might be, right? The term loaning there, the term loan there amount. So I don't know. I don't know what that is going to be, whether it's 3%, 5%. If it's like 7, 8%, then I'm going to start getting worried. Right, because that's kind of high at that point. We saw the same kind of yields in 2021, 2022, where things went south quickly. So as long as it's like reasonable rates and they're good third parties, that should be fine. Okay, let's see. Well, traditional miners like Mara go parabolic in Q1, Q2. Bitcoin goes up, they should go up as well, right? That's why we're in these guys. As Bitcoin going up, they should go up because they're going to be generating more money on the value of Bitcoin that they hodl, plus with them mining at a lower cost, their profit margins are going to be improving as well. So that's the reason why. Let's see. Is Hive the most undervalued miner right now? Yesterday we checked it. It should have been the most, let's see, enterprise value metrics. It still is the most undervalued miner right now as it is. Hive is at future hash rate growth, $16 million per exahash, whereas TeraWolf is now being valued at $339 million, BitDeer at $302 million. So there's definitely an imbalance here in the miners. That's a nice way to put it, I guess. All right. Let's see. Is Kang a good miner to buy? I'm not sure. Don't follow them, so I'm not sure. Okay, William says BTC is at 150,000 Mara. By end of year, we'll get close to 200,000 or $200. That would be a lot of gains there. I'm having a hard time seeing that, but I'm not saying it's out of the question. else do we have here? Let's see, where is it at? There it is. Okay. Question: looks like the tenants of the Hut 8 data center will purchase $10 billion worth of computers and equipment. Gives more validity for Meta partnership, right? It could be them, yeah. That is definitely something that's been thrown out there as far as a possible suitor, right? Meta has also stated they're looking to build out in Louisiana as well. So there's that kind of correlation between the two. And Meta definitely has the cash to do it, where Hut 8 would have to go into debt financing or project debt financing on that side of things for that to be done. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But that's definitely good news that they were approved on that site. Now just how fast can they actually build it out? Adorable Sweater said, thank you. It's nice and warm too. Let's see. What do you think of Cypher and BitDigital? What would be your bull case? Thanks, Eb. BitDigital, Cypher has a lot of growth going into 2025, second half, and then beyond that. They have a lot of megawatts under development or in pipeline. So they have a lot of potential there, right? BitDigital also is pivoting more into HPCI, like a data center player provider there. And they've been doing a much better job here recently, buying data centers and things like that, improving them, building them out, whatever it might be. They're not being valued for it either. Cypher, I think, right now is kind of fairly valued. Let me take a look at Cypher really quick in my sheet. Where are they at right now? Based on what I'm seeing here with them. Yeah, I mean, right now I think they're kind of fairly valued for where they are. We'll have to wait and see what they report for December. I think they provided that at the end of the day here. We'll look at that tomorrow. But right now I'm seeing that they are kind of fairly valued based on what I'm seeing at least. BitDigital, I believe, is more undervalued than that. All right. Hi, Seb. If CORZ are hodling their BTC, how many do you think they have by now? I think they're going to have possibly several hundred. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think they're going to be up to 1,000 yet, but based on what they were just selling here recently, the amount compared to what they were actually mining, I think they're going to have maybe 400 to 600 BTC, maybe somewhere around there. I would have to run the numbers back from the press releases. Talked about that one already. Let's see here. Love the streams as always. Thanks, Seb. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming in as always as well. All right. Are you wishing Bitfarms negotiated slightly higher price and sold to Riot? Will Bitfarms moon only after Stronghold acquisition complete? Possibly. I don't know. I think it's just them. The miners trying to report better numbers going forward. EPS is for Q4 and things like that. I think that's going to be the catalyst. With them buying Stronghold, there was always this concern that there's going to be dilution with that. Could that be holding the stock back? Yes. Could it also be that they are in Canada, based in Canada? Yes, that could be something that's holding the stock back. Could it also be Riot? Got 19.9% of the company there also. That could be also. So there's a couple of things that could be keeping the stock down. We'll have to wait and see how it does. I still own a bunch, though, on it. Okay, what else? Let's see. I know you don't have a crystal ball. Do you see IREN reaching 30 when Bitcoin goes to 150,000? I mean, IREN's right now is not too far off. Where's IREN right now? IREN is at $11. So that'd be basically a 3x. So it's possible. I would think it might be possible. We definitely need a nice bull run there, and then them providing pretty good numbers for Q4 as well. Would be a good catalyst for that as well. Let's see here. Question, Seb, as much as I want BTC to keep going up, it will pull back to 97 range before blasting off to 115, 120, 1.1K. Are you talking about 1.1 million there? Or did you have a little typo there with an additional zero? Or 120K, I think is what you wanted to say maybe. Yeah, I mean, that's not out of the question that Bitcoin doesn't pull back. So it's going to be, 2 steps forward, 1 step back with Bitcoin. It's always been. Sometimes it's 1 step forward and 5 steps back, but eventually it kind of works its way out. Let's see. Diana says, Seb, I'm very worried about Bitfarms. I really think something is wrong. Do you? The lack of transparency is worse than ever. I don't know if there's anything wrong with Paraguay or the machines, or are they stuck in customs? I'd definitely like more transparency there. So maybe one of these days we'll get it. I'm sure there's going to be some questions on the conference call when they do the quarterly results, but that's still a couple weeks out, so we're going to have to be in a void for a while. Okay, let's see. Question, not a question, but on BitDeer news on TradingView today said they registered to offer 1 billion of Class A shares. Can't find this info anywhere else, but might explain some of the sell-off. Oh, okay. Let's take a look here. TradingView. Let me get rid of this one over here. Let's go to. Let's see here. Let's go to BitDeer. 10% sell-off. Let's go to this. Let's see here. BitDeer Group maintained by. Okay. BitDeer Technology Group files to register offer sale up to 1 billion. So $1 billion of Class A, not a billion, probably shares. 1 billion. So that would be, what are they at right now? So that would be, they're at $20. What is that going to be? Is that 50 million shares? Would that be correct? 1 billion, yeah, $1 billion of Class A ordinary shares. So what is that going to be? Share-wise, at $20, roughly, that they are at right now. Yeah, it'd be, right? Yeah, it'd be 50 million shares, roughly. That's not that bad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think that was the catalyst. 'Cause if they came out January 3rd, that would have been Friday. It came out pretty much close to the end of the day here at 425. That was after the market closed already. Maybe that was the reason. But people were just reading it wrong, that they thought it was 1 billion shares, but it's actually $1 billion of Class A shares. So 50 million shares, roughly. All right, let's go back here. Let's see, what else do I have here? Okay. Miners do not just run on their fundamentals, exahash price to produce. It's all for the birds. Well, I mean, you can think that, but I also think it's important because then that leads us to see which ones are going to be more profitable in the long run. And then based on that, the profitability and the EPS, the quarterly results, that should make them run. Hi, so IREN making a comeback. Any news about HPC deal? NVIDIA stated $80 billion to invest. I have not seen anything on that one. IREN's just doing a great job of Bitcoin mining in there also. You know, they have potential there, so we'll see what happens of it. Okay, let's see. Question. I heard from McNally Money today that Bitfarms became a U.S. company. Was this a mistake? I have not seen anything on it. I haven't seen any press releases or anything like that. I'm sure they would probably put one out, but I haven't seen anything. Yeah. If you're wondering why Hot 8 is outperforming today, it's because of Louisiana Parish that they plan to build the data center in. Had a vote, a committee approved it. Yes, we talked about that already a little bit here. Let's see. They are all cyclical, just like BTC. Yep. But you know, they're not there to be invested for a long period of time. Just get in at the bottoms and get out the tops as you can. Let's see. Question. Hey, Seb, I was talking about IWM a couple days ago. If you have any questions regarding correlation between the miners and IWM, let me know, and I will post the answer below. Thanks, Par and Seb. All right. Yeah, cool. I mean, the correlation is definitely seen there. I need to do a little bit more digging into it, but I'm seeing it both ways, where the miners could be impacting it, or it's the other way around. But let's see here. Let's see. Benny says, yeah, dilution won't matter if we moon. Mara diluted the most during the last bull cycle. You can check. Yeah, they did. So did CleanSpark here this cycle. They've diluted a lot as well. So they've all diluted like crazy here, but they've gotten somewhere with it, right? They have huge exahash right now, huge portfolios of megawatts and everything else. So there's something for something. It's not just you get dilution, you get nothing. Okay, let's see. I'm hearing that no institutions are buying Bitfarms, and maybe why they're not moving, only retail traders. There's some institutions that have Bitfarms. Then we can see that here. I did an update on them. When was it? Last Friday? No, Thursday I did an update on them because they provided the numbers here. But here's Bitfarms. We can see that institutions did increase here a little bit to 216 institutions for month over month. Shares also increased a little bit here to 100 million from 96 million, right? Percentage also increased to 22, so I'm not sure where you're seeing that. That could also be, when you look at the actual people that are in there, it doesn't list Riot as one of them. I guess Riot is not considered an institution, I'm guessing here on that one. But yeah, it seems like there's still plenty of, I wouldn't say plenty, I mean, it's on the lower end for sure. Some of these other guys have, 40, 50, 60, 70% owned by institutions, whereas they're much lower here. Okay, let's go back here. Question, when do you see IREN start performing? Do you have a price target for IREN in the first half of the year? That'll depend greatly on where Bitcoin's at, to be honest. When do I think it'll start outperforming? I think once the miners start running, they're going to start running in kind of groups more or less. And that's, I think, going to happen probably within the next maybe 4 to 6 weeks, I think. Especially when they start reporting the quarterly results for Q4. Those should be much better for them. That should be, I think, a catalyst that runs them up. Let's see. How about BitDigital stock? Is it going to go up? Yeah, it's going to go up as well. Especially as they continue to get more customers and things like that for their HPCI business. That should be great for them. And then if they also provide numbers on their Bitcoin mining growth that they're targeting for this year as well, that should be a good thing to make a move as well. Let's see. Which miner spent the least money to mine BTC? Well, when? In December or in general? The latest numbers that we have from the miners is I think IREN or Cypher might be like the lowest ones. Then you got CleanSpark in there. After that, you would have, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Wolf has actually gone up in price recently, but IREN, CleanSpark, I think Bitfarms is pretty low also. Cypher, who else? I'm drawing a blank here right now. Hive's a little bit more, I think. Hive should be pretty low, or getting lower within your machines. Who else is in there? Got too many miners to think about. Let me see here. BitTier, Cypher, CleanSpark, CORZ not that bad either. They're pretty low also. Mars, like I said, is on the higher side. Riot should be coming down as well as their uptime has been improving. So there's quite a few that are doing pretty good here right now. But I think IREN and like Cypher are the lowest, and you got possibly. Let me see. Let me take a look. Break-even numbers for them. Yeah, I had IREN Core, CleanSpark, Cypher being the lowest, and then you would have. TeraWolf in there as well, possibly, and Bitfarms as well. So those would be like the lowest. Okay. Yeah, Andre says the IREN has the lowest cost. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, Dynamite says short data is from January 5th. Okay. Which service are you using that from? Because the service I'm using is like delayed by a week or so, and then I'm getting the data that's on the 15th provided and on like the last day of the month as well. Sources financial earning channel. Okay, so you answered my question there right away. Thanks. I'll have to take a look at it. So where's he getting the data from? Okay. Let's see here. Question, why not try a validation of miners based off total market cap, percentage of remaining BTC times estimated price of BTC times percentage of remaining BTC the miner will end up claiming? Yeah, you could definitely do that as well. And I see what you're saying. It's just how much are they going to be able to mine going forward here, right? Based on the percentage. You also take into consideration the growth that's going to be happening there. How much will they grow? How much will the network hash rate grow? Quite a few variables that go into it as well. And then, well, price of BTC and things like that. But yeah, there's a lot you can calculate with all the data that we have on them. Okay, can you calculate what would be hash price with BTC at 200,000 and currently difficulty and fees? I could probably run that calculation to figure that one out. But it's something we could do. I think Penny has done something similar to that. Penny Ether on X. If you don't follow him, you should follow him. Really good numbers guy as well. All right. Let's see here. Ed says, Seb RPM, Liberal stepping down, and the opposition's leader, Conservative holds BTC himself, but the election is not happening until October. The uncertainty in our economy is through the roof. Yeah, you guys are in Canada over there. You guys, I mean, yeah, I'm just going to say, wow, it's definitely been a wild ride for you guys the last, probably, what has it been, 8-9 years, something like that. You guys have been losing some of your liberties and things like that, which is unfortunate. Hopefully you guys can get that turned around. So, I'm with you there. If you guys can do much better going forward, that would be, I would love it. I'd love to see it. Okay, the roof. So not so much fun with Bitfarms and DMG because they're Canadian based. Is that why you're saying that because of the economy there or the governance of the country there was a result of why people are not getting into like Bitfarms and DMG? It could be the case also. Let's see. If I'm correct, CORZ holding 500 BTC would mean 1% of their market cap. Seems not much now. Yeah. It seems like they just started, well, we don't know for a fact, right? But they've been selling less Bitcoin here than they actually have been mining and getting from their hosting side of business in the last probably 6 to 8 months, I want to say. All right. I said, what do you, sorry, geez, text is getting a little too small for me. I need better eyes. I said, what do I predict tomorrow's December production will be, and what is the stock price revaluation? So the numbers already came out for Mara. We talked about Mara on Thursday, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was on Thursday we talked about it. They came out with numbers. Their Bitcoin mine was 867, so it was a little bit lower than the 884 that they had in October, but the operations were better. They stated a lot of well, not a lot, but they stated that the reason for the decrease on the production side of things was luck. They contributed to luck, right? So luck does also play into it, that you can get more Bitcoin. There is a luck aspect to this as well with their Mara pool. So they were able to get more Bitcoins in October because of a little bit more luck than they had in November, which I can totally understand that. But overall, really good numbers here. They operated very, very well. So 867 for them at that point, giving them 85.17 million. That was the best month of revenue here, I think, ever. So nicely done there. Operations were much better as well. Hash rate grew to 53.2 exahash. Nice job by the Mara team. We talked about it on Thursday stream last week when they provided the numbers here. Okay, so let's see. That's that one. Let's go back here. Okay, Dodd has a question. What do you think Ben from Bitfarms would have to say if asked? One, how do you feel about BTC being steady at 100,000 Bitfarms at $1.75? And what is the reason, in Ben's word, the Bitfarms is what would he say? I have no idea what he would say. But I remember him saying on one of the interviews that, shorts better beware. So that didn't end well so far for him. Maybe in time it will look much better, but yeah, right now the shorts, I think at that time the stock was at $2 something. So the shorts are still having maybe a little bit of a field day with Bitfarms, but I don't know what he would say. Yeah, they've underperformed. I know they've underperformed. Who knows? Let's see here. Can you get in touch with Wall Street Bets, inform their army of their current state of Bitfarms, and ask the Wall Street Bets army to pump? Yeah, I don't think I know anybody that's in the Wall Street Bets side of things, unless you guys are in some of those guys. Okay, let's see. IREN versus CleanSpark, best returns. Depending when you get into these guys and when you got into them, I have much lower price average on CleanSpark when I got into it than I do on IREN. So for me, CleanSpark's going to be probably better returns. But going forward here, I think it might be CleanSpark. And the only reason is because they have a HODL position, right? They have almost 10,000, well, probably have 10,000 BTC right now on their balance sheet. So that should yield a little bit more of a return there for them. Plus their hash rate is higher than where IREN is right now. They have similar targets to get to 50 exahash by the first half there. So that's kind of on par. The only difference then is IREN, do they get like an HPCI customer? So that's the only unknown there. Let's see. Let's see here. CORZ HODL is insignificant and their focus is on AI hosting. Yes, you're correct there. Okay. Let's see. The market cap of BitDeer is only 3.4 billion, so 1 billion is more than a quarter of their valuation, though. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Question. I read comments on X, and some think we have hit euphoria. I don't think we are anywhere near that. Lots of fear still. Your opinion? Yeah, I don't think we've hit euphoria anywhere. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not like extremely over the top excited with where the miners have gone so far. So I'm nowhere near Euphoria. I'm still like in like disbelief right now a little bit that they haven't done better than what they have done. So Euphoria, where's Euphoria from? Yeah, Bitcoin's got up to 100,000. Okay, that's great, but I don't think that's the end of it yet. Okay, question. If Hut 8 and Bit Digital are both leaning towards HPCI business, which one of them would you put your money in? Right now, Hut 8 is the bigger one, right? They have, if they get the 2 billion data center built out there and then a nice long contract with somebody for that, they got it, right? They beat Bit Digital. Bit Digital is definitely smaller, but they're doing all the right things as well. They're getting these kind of smaller deals. Whereas Hut 8 is looking for like a hyperscaler, right? Something like that. So it's different types of businesses in a sense. Okay, what else here? We got, I'm trying to find another question. Who is Penny on X? Penny Ether. Search for Penny. I think it's Penny _ Ether, or is it Penny Ether? The same one. Just search for Penny Ether. You should be able to find him on there. He follows me. I follow him as well. So you should be able to find him that way. What do you think about Canon? I know Canon has been doing here pretty good here recently in the last couple of weeks. Let's see, let me go back here. How's it done here recently? I think I have it as one of my things that I'm tracking here. Can. So let's take a look at it. So here's Canon. It did go up quite nicely to 327. It's definitely pulled back here recently. It's at 234 right now. It's still way, way, way far away from its highs in the past. And, you know, just a couple of weeks ago, before it had this nice run up here, going back to end of October into November, if you looked at what Canon has done and what Bitcoin has done, there's a huge disparity between the two as far as Bitcoin's going up. This one's actually been going down in the same time frame, where we're seeing at least the miners keep up or outperform a little bit of Bitcoin. This one has been underperforming Bitcoin, but it has recently here done okay. Let's see on the time frame if it's caught up to Bitcoin again. Where's Bitcoin? There it is. Bitcoin will add Can over it on top of it as a percentage. Let's see how does that look like. I mean, yeah, here you can see Can, let's go 1 year. On the 1 year time frame, Bitcoin's up 131%, Can's only up 2.63%. Okay. That's kind of all I need to see on that one. Hasn't really performed as well as Bitcoin has, nowhere near. And I'm not sure why. I think it's I don't know whether it's because they're losing market share in the ASICs, and I don't know how they're growing with their own business mining side of things. So I'm not sure. Okay, there's that. What else do we have here? Okay, let's see. Question: CleanSpark's massive performance. Are you expecting stock price will be 2-3x in the first quarter of 2025? Thanks again for your inputs. I'd love to see that, right? Don't get me wrong. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's going to depend on where Bitcoin goes. Bitcoin stays flat here in the next quarter. We're going to be around these ranges. They could run up here a little bit on the quarterly results. That could be a catalyst. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I would definitely love to see that though. Okay. Question, which is a better risk reward, Mara or MicroStrategy? I would think probably MicroStrategy, right? I would think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think MicroStrategy. I mean, Mara does mine. MicroStrategy has just so many doggone Bitcoins, and they're just doing the same thing. So I would think that one might be a little bit better risk reward. Okay, what else do I have here? Okay, it is gonna be harsh a bit for the miners. Does not matter whatever they have done. They all lag on BTC price action once BTC bottoms. All being dumped. We can't rely on miners for long term. No, not for long term. No. Okay. Seb, hi Seb. Do you think Q1 miners will topped out and will go down in Q2? Q1 results will come out in May. That all depends on Bitcoin again, right? If Bitcoin goes up in Q1, right? Because we're in Q1 right now. So Bitcoin goes up in Q1, that means they're going to be generating just as much as they did as in Q4 or more, especially if their hash rate is growing. so they can be actually generating more revenue. So for that reason, I don't think so. And then if we get Bitcoin going down in maybe like Q2, then that's going to bring down the miners anyways, right? If Bitcoin goes down, regardless if they have great revenue numbers for Q1, they're going to be coming down as well. Shouldn't the price movement of BTC impact the non-HODL value more than the HODL position of each miner? Yeah, 1x, but mining equals 3x, etc. HODL equals 1x. I don't know. So you're saying because they have HODL that they should be going down more than the ones that don't have HODL? But then should they be going up also more if they have HODL than the ones that don't have HODL? There's two sides of that, I guess you would have to think about it. I don't know. Let's see. Seb, you'd be surprised this cycle to find out how little miners will sell BTC during the bull cycle. I believe most will hold. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, right? Could be, yeah, I mean, it could be because of MicroStrategy that they all will hold. In the last cycles, we saw miners actually sell into the bull run. We saw CleanSpark doing it and others as well. And then we saw some actually have to sell at much lower prices because they got in trouble financially. But I would definitely like to see them. I don't say that they have to sell everything. I like to see them sell a portion of it, whether it's 50%, 40% of their HODL position, whatever, and then use that for not diluting shareholders in the next 2 years if Bitcoin has a similar cycle like in the past where it goes down. That's kind of what I'd like to see. Will we see that? I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out, I guess, on that one. Okay, talked about that one. Let's see. Hi, Seb, why do you think Ben at Bitfarms are so reluctant to provide details of exahash growth? That I don't know. I don't know if they got issues there or what, and they're just trying to stay hush about it as long as they can. I don't know. Or to provide replies to your genuine question invitations for discussions. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But it would be nice to get some clarification. I will say that. And it doesn't take much. It's just Paraguay site. This is the reason why we're behind the ball on it until sometime in first half of 2025. And then here's a reason why our hash rate has been slow growth. Miners are stuck in customs for X, Y, Z reasons. Miners are being slowly returned to us from Bitmain, whatever it might be. Easy things, right? Okay, here we go. Question. Seb, which is the best performing miner for December production? I don't know yet. Still waiting for a couple miners to report. I think we got majority of them in right now, but we're still waiting on quite a few to report. Once it comes out, we'll do the numbers crunching on that and see how they came out. And I know right now Marathon's looking really good. CleanSpark's looking great as well. And then who else has been here? Riot's looking better, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Question, Seb, which small miner would you put in your portfolio? Small miner, I guess. Well, I would say Hive is small compared to the guys here. I think also Bitfarms right now is pretty small compared to the other guys here as well. They're under 1 billion in market cap, but the other guys are at least multiple billions. So I think those two are small. The other ones I'll look at would be probably like DMG, Digihost in there. I've done a bunch of research on those. I would say look at those maybe at that point as well, but that's up to you. Okay. Dynamite says financial earning guidance short data from Ortex. I think it's a paid source, so kind of like Bloomberg Terminal. You might be able to see it then. Yeah, I don't have access to that, so we're a little bit behind on that. Let's see. Question on Mara versus MicroStrategy. Risk reward MicroStrategy higher risk due to HODL multiple. Mara and the rest of the business is losing dollars. Mara should be profitable. Okay. Well, yeah. All right. I think that's it. We're caught up to all your guys' questions here. If you guys have any other questions, we'll call it a day. Bitcoin's still at 101,000. We're still holding above 100,000, which is good. We'll take it. Anytime we're above 100,000, that's a good sign here. Silver Moon says, hopefully Bitcoin hits 195,000. That's when I'm selling my miners all 100%. 200,000 barrier could break, then dip and not come back. The cycle risk reward not worth it to me. Yeah. I'm going to be probably selling even before then. Let's see here. It would be fun if you make a list of CEOs BTC top predictions. AFX CleanSpark CEO called 200,000 top. Okay. Yeah, I know some of them don't talk about it, but they don't talk about their own stock, but they talk about Bitcoin possibly where it could go. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in here. Greatly appreciate you guys as always. We'll cover tomorrow. We got Cypher, I think, to report, and then who else reported that I saw that came in late? There was somebody else, but whoever reports tomorrow, we'll talk about that tomorrow's stream, and we'll see where Bitcoin goes. We'll see what the miners do, and all the stuff that's in between. All right, love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.